This is Cruise Radio.
Cruise Radio is brought to you in part by tripinsurance.com. Travel insurance done right by the people who know travel insurance. Get a quote today at tripinsurance.com.
Broadcasting from the tripinsurance.com studios in Jacksonville, Florida.
This is
Cruise Radio.
Casey and his family took an 8-night cruise on Carnival Dream out of Galveston, and he's here to talk about it. How you doing, Casey?
Doing great, Doug.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait to hear about Carnival Dream. It's been a bit since we've talked about the ship there, and it's based in Texas and doing a little bit of short cruises and longer cruises in your case. So what we'll do here before we get to the ship, we'll take a step back. Give me some pre-cruise thoughts here. What made you want to take this 8-nighter on Dream?
Really, it was the itinerary. This was my 10th cruise all on Carnival, my wife's 3rd cruise. And to back up a bit, we had 3-year-old twins, man, and we took them on the Carnival Breeze on a 5-nighter in February just to see how it went, how they would do if they liked it. And they absolutely loved it and had a great experience on the Breeze. And my wife and I really wanted to go to Half Moon Cay. We'd never been there, which of course is in the news a lot right now. And we love Key West, and it was just a cool itinerary to do an 8-nighter and be able to drive down from Dallas to Galveston. And she had never been to the Bahamas. I'd been to the Bahamas, but not Half Moon. So it really was all about the itinerary.
Now, since you're in the Dallas area, is that a day trip for you, or do you go in a night before?
Well, it's interesting. I know listening to Cruise Radio, I know that a lot of folks like to go down the night, but I'm a big go down the night before guy, Doug. Normally we'll go to Galveston. It's about a 5-hour drive from Dallas. We're up north of Dallas. But with the twins, we did the night before at a hotel when we did the Breeze in February, and it's a disaster to try to get 3-year-old twins to a hotel for one night. Mm-hmm. And get all your stuff lugged off and into the hotel. So we actually went down the morning of, even though we like to do the night before, it just works better, and leave here about 5:30 in the morning. And we were pulling into Galveston in the cruise terminal by 10:30.
Once you park and you make your way to the cruise terminal there, how long did it take you from the curb to the ship?
Super fast. I think I timed it, Doug, was about 20 minutes, and that's with 3-year-old twins. So it was super efficient. They really had it down. It was a smooth process. Now,
you were just on Breeze, you were saying. So what were your first impressions of Carnival Dream once you stepped into the atrium?
I loved it. Yeah, of course, I'm a little biased. I like I guess it's Farkas that people say pre or post Farkas, right? And I like the old school glitz and glamour. I know it's not for everyone. So I think the Dream was still a Farkas ship. So it kind of had the, colored lights and some of the glitz and glamour. Beautiful ship. We love those open atriums with the glass elevators. I think my kids went up and down the glass elevators, probably 6,000 times in 8 nights, right? And beautiful ship. I'd read some reviews about it was maybe not maintained well or was showing its age. And we thought that it was beautiful, and that Carnival the staff had done a really good job keeping it clean, and just a beautiful ship.
Now, Carnival Dream was the very last ship that Joe Farkas designed, and then he did just a couple of spaces, the theater and also the casino on Carnival Magic, and then he was done with Carnival. So you got to sail on one of the very last ones he had full influence on. So that's very cool there.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. So we enjoyed the look of it.
So what kind of stateroom did you book for this 8-night cruise? And was it enough space for you and the family?
It was. I think the rooms are very spacious. We had a standard balcony on deck 6, and we like that. We had the same thing on the Breeze, Doug, and we like that deck 6 balcony just because it's easy with little kids to get down to the atrium and get around. And I just make sure that with that Lana deck underneath you, I think that's what it's called, to make sure that you're not right above a hot tub. So just kind of looked at the deck plan and made sure we had a good spot where we weren't out on the balcony and looked down and someone's, in the hot tub relaxing. And so it was a great room. I don't think it had been updated. Probably, I think this shit rolled out in 2009, but it was very clean, very spacious, and we really liked the cabin. And our room steward, Brian, was amazing. I think he could read minds.
Nice. Did you find that it was up to date?
Maybe not up to date for someone that needs a lot of electrical plugs. I think there was a couple of them. We disconnect. We're old school on a cruise. So maybe not up to date. I don't think they'd been renovated much. They were definitely, obviously, more out of date than the Breeze, of course. But like I said, the room was clean. Yeah. I think they did a great job maintaining it.
And so it was good even with the two little ones, you still had plenty of room and such.
Absolutely. Yeah. Plenty of room. I mean, I think that, I'll be honest, you have a point of reference on this. I've only cruised Carnival, so I don't know what other cruise lines square footage are, but I think for a cruise ship, the rooms are really spacious and we're able to use space in the room and kind of get everything put up. And of course they made dad sleep on the couch. So, you had 41-year-old dad squeezing on the couch while they were spread out on that beautiful king bed. Right.
Very nice. So let's talk about the Lido Deck Marketplace and the food on board the ship. So we'll go up top to the buffet. How was your experience in there? And did you find that it got crowded at times?
There definitely was some congestion in and around the buffet and around Guy's Burger and Blue Iguana. We're not huge buffet people, so we only ate in the buffet a couple times for breakfast, but there definitely was some congestion at the peak hours, right before you get off the ship in a port or right when you get on, but nothing too crazy. You kind of expect it, right? When there's 4,000, this was a full cruise. It was definitely at 100% capacity.
Gotcha. Now, outside of the buffet, of course, you have like Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina. Did you hit any of those up?
Absolutely. We went to Guy's a few times and the burgers were good. I don't know that they were quite as good as the first time I had them. I don't know if that's just because I've had them so many times but they were still very good. Don't get me wrong, but maybe not as great as I thought they once were. We really like Blue Iguana. I'd never really had eaten at Blue Iguana a lot, and we started to eat it. The kids loved the burritos. The food I thought at Blue Iguana was great. And I know you didn't necessarily ask about this, but we did do bonsai sushi. Had some sushi one night, late night kind of snack, and it was great.
I'm trying to think, bonsai on that ship, is that like located on the promenade, like on deck 5 there?
It is. It's on 5. I don't know if it's because there's no Red Frog, but it's much bigger on Dream than Breeze. Mm-hmm. There's more table space kind of across the way along the windows. And so it's a bigger bonsai on Dream than it is on Breeze or Magic. And so, but right there on deck 5. And
how was the pizza on this one?
Great. I probably hit it's not Pizza Pirate on this one. I think it's Pizza del Capitano or whatever it is. But I was there many times after a late night in the casino, and the pizza was always great. And then during the day, the kids love the pizza. They're always asking to, I was kidding with them the other day because we're about to go on the Jubilee, and I told them, hey, there's other things you can order in the dining room other than pizza and fries. But of course, all they want is pizza and fries. But the pizza was very good up on the back of the ship. We really enjoyed it.
Flipping through photos here of Bonsai, this venue is pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the one thing about this ship I don't like is there is no Red Frog pub, and I love the Red Frog pubs. I don't necessarily like the one on Lido. That's the whatever they call it, the Tiki. But I love the one like on the Breeze and the Magic. And maybe that's because there is no Red Frog. There's a little bit more space down there. But if you're a sushi fan, this is a great ship for you. Did
you do any specialty dining like the steakhouse, or does this one have cucina?
They don't have cucina. Okay. It's like where that cucina space is above. I forget what it is. It's like a pasta place, but it's not a cucina.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately. So we didn't. Honestly, the dining room is just so good. I think the food on Carnival in the dining room was outstanding. We had some great dishes, and the staff, our servers we had a guy named Pratik and Gerald, and they just became like best friends throughout the cruise, and the service was outstanding, and we really stuck to the dining room. Now we are big breakfast people in the dining room, so whether that's the brunch on sea days or it's just breakfast on port days, we always eat breakfast down in the dining room. And I just think the food and the Lido Deck breakfast food, let's just be honest, is pretty average, probably on any ship, but boy, the breakfast down in the dining room and the sea day brunch was outstanding.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had a chance to eat breakfast at the Blue Iguana, one of those breakfast tacos.
We did. Yeah. They're so good. Yeah, we hit that up a couple times. And Blue Iguana, I'd never really, I guess being from Texas, we have so much Mexican food, it's like, I don't want to eat. But I started to hit up Blue Iguana on this cruise, and they had the tacos and the burritos. The breakfast burritos were so good. It really is. It's a good, quick meal, and I think they do a good job for sure.
Now, traveling with the two little ones, I want to talk about the entertainment here. But before we get there, did they do the kids club at all?
Did Camp Ocean. And man, on the Breeze, we took them, Doug, for like one time just to kind of test the waters. And they did really well. Of course, they give you the cell phone, which is awesome. And they did good on the Breeze that first time. And then on the Dream this time, we took them almost every day. And there were times where we would go have a drink at Alchemy and kind of mill around after dinner and go back up to Camp Ocean, and they refused to come out. They were story time. They were doing paintings and they didn't want to leave. I think it's just I think Camp Ocean it's a great value because it's included before 10, I believe, and which is awesome. And I think the staff just did an excellent job. We were really pleased with Camp Ocean, and the 3-year-old twins love it. They're already talking about Camp Ocean, and I guess there's a Dr. Seuss's Bookville on Jubilee, and they're pumped about that, man.
That's awesome there. So how about the entertainment on the ship for you guys? Like, did you go to check out any shows or comedy shows, music around the ship?
We didn't do a lot of the shows in the main showroom. We did go, I made a note here. We went to Motor City show one night and thought it was pretty good. They didn't last it's hard for 3-year-olds to last a whole show, right? But from what we saw for 20, 30 minutes, we thought it was a good show and well done. And I did hit up a comedy show one night. I think the guy's name was Billy D. Washington. And shout out to him, man. It's a good name for a comedian, right? But he was really funny. As you know, Carnival does such a good job with the comedy shows, and I think that's their bread and butter. And I've rarely seen a comedian that's bad on Carnival. I will say, and a lot of people listening know this, the lines to get in that back, I forget the name of that showroom on 5 in the very back, were incredibly long. I mean, I almost think they need to open up, maybe do one in the big theater. I don't know that they do that yet on Dream. Maybe I missed that, but get in line very early for the comedy shows. But they were outstanding. And we did I don't know if this falls under entertainment. I guess it is, but we did the Dr. Seuss parade and book reading, which if it would have just been me back in my single days or just me and my wife, you wouldn't catch me dead in there. But gosh, they do a great job. The kids love the parade and walking through the ship. The staff I think that Dr. Seuss stuff is really neat. The kids love it, and the book reading, and it ends with a Dr. Seuss book reading in the theater, and it's interactive. It was really cool, and the kids love that. We did I guess it's Thing 1 and Thing 2 breakfast. I can't keep up with the name changes on that. It used to be the Dr. Seuss brunch, and the kids loved it. Food is not great. I mean, they're trying to make things look green and red, and which I think probably diminishes the quality of the food with trying to make it Dr. Seuss themed food. But it was fun, and the kids loved it, and the entertainment was good. And I tried to get on this next cruise, I was trying to get my kids not to do it, and that's all they're talking about. So we did do the brunch and a lot of the Dr. Seuss stuff. And overall, I think the entertainment was really good.
The Billy D. Washington, it takes a lot for a comedian to make me laugh, just because I like dry comedy or like deadpan. He had me in stitches the entire 30-minute set. He was just solid and spot on.
Oh, he's good. He interacts good with the crowd. And yeah, I really enjoyed him. And I can't remember the names of the other ones, but there's been some really good ones. And I think Carnival, like I said, I love the comedy shows, and looking forward to those here in a few weeks. And one more thing on entertainment is the live music was really, really good on this ship. They would even, do songs for the twins so they could dance. And nice. I just think that the acoustic shows and the live music and the bands and the duos, I think that Carnival really, at least from my opinion, they did a really good job, and we enjoyed that.
You sent me some photos of the twins around the ship. It looks like they were quite the hit on board.
They were, man. One of those pictures is a guitar player, Junior Sanchez, and we became pretty good friends with him, and I follow him on Instagram now, and I guess he's on Luminosa now, and the twins still talk about Junior. That's and awesome. They want to cruise with him. I had told him he's on a cruise ship in Australia, I think. Right. Like, I'm not riding on a plane with you guys to Australia, but Junior was awesome. And then I think you probably saw pictures with Brian, our room steward, and then Pratik. I mean, our server in the dining room, Doug, was Pratik, and he literally had tears in his eyes the last night that we left because he had become so close to our kids and us. And personally, that's what makes cruising and what makes Carnival so special is the people. The staff are just great people, and it really makes you want to get back on board with. We do a lot of all-inclusive resorts, and we love flying to Mexico and Dominican, and I just think cruising has a leg up on, at least from what I've seen, is the staff on Carnival. Man, they've just been fantastic, and they're just such good people, and it's they're doing a good job when by the end of the 8 nights you become really good friends with them, and it's really is sad to leave the ship, No, 100%.
Let's talk about the sea days here as far as crowds and congestion. How did that stack up for y'all?
didn't think the congestion, Doug, was too bad. Other than what we talked about up on Lido, which is pretty much you're always congestion points on any ship. I thought deck 5, the promenade deck, there was a little bit of congestion. I don't know what goes on in the fun shops, but they're like, I don't go in the shops. I'm just not a shopper. But there was like always a ton of people outside the fun shops in line waiting for something. You might know more about that than I. So it could get a little tight right there in the atrium area on 5 around the fun shops on sea days. But other than that, I thought the ship really handled itself pretty well congestion wise. Yeah,
they like to do the raffles on the fun shop, give things away, gift jewelry or whatever, gift cards or whatnot. With the little ones, did they get in the pool or anything, or the splash park?
They did. They love the splash pad up top. I guess it's Waterworks. Mm-hmm. This ship doesn't have this is pretty minute, but this ship doesn't have a water bucket. Mm-hmm. And my kids love, for whatever reason, that all they talk about is the water bucket. So it's still a good Waterworks. Priest and Magic had a little bit better, I think, of a Waterworks than Dream, but there's more water slides on Dream, but probably less of the stuff for the smaller kids. But they loved it. They loved getting in the pools. We got in the pools a couple times. And one thing I don't like about the Dream class is there's only 2 pools for 4,000 people. Mm-hmm. So that's, that makes the pools really, I think it's too late to fix this now, right? But they probably should have had 3 pools on a ship this size. So that was probably the one downside.
All right, well, let's talk about your ports of call on this 8-night sailing. For the sake of time, give us your port of call and give us the highlight of that destination, and then we'll move to the next one.
Yeah, Key West, with 3-year-old twins, we want to go to things that are pretty close and try not to taxi if we can not. So we just walked to a beach bar called Loggerheads. It actually has a beach right by the cruise ship, and we swam there. And it was, even though Key West is not known for its beaches, it was for, if you just need to get a swim in, it's a perfect place to go. Beautiful little beach. Then we went and ate at B.O.'s Fish Wagon, kind of a Key West staple that Buffett used to eat there a lot. And I'm a Buffett guy. And then I actually have a good friend that has a house in Key West, and I texted him that morning and he was there. So we went to his house and hung out, and made me really jealous because I want a house like that in Key West. And then he took us back to the cruise ship, had a great day in Key West.
Nice. Yeah, Loggerhead, I've been there before. That is kind of catty corner, or right across the way. There's the Blue Mojito Bar right across the street or across the strip there, right?
That's exactly correct. Yeah, it's a neat little place just to go if you just want to. You're probably not going to swim there for 6 hours, but if you just want to get in the water and have a drink and relax, it's a cool little spot kind of around the corner there. And then B.O.'s Fish Wagon's not too far if you want some good fish.
Yeah, for sure. So we had the whole Nassau, or the whole rather Bahamas string after this one. So let's talk about those Bahamas ports.
Freeport, we went to Pirates Cove. I usually don't do cruise ship excursions. I know a lot of people do, but I kind of like to. But on this one, I had a credit and it was easy. So Pirates Cove was not very good. It was very outdated. I don't know who owns it or who runs it. From the staff I was talking to, I think maybe because of Celebration Key ramping up, Pirates Cove is ramping down. It was very outdated, old. Beach wasn't great, so we still had fun, but probably not a place I would go back to. Half Moon Key was awesome. I mean, gosh, people listening that have been there, it's got to be one of the best beaches in the world. Certainly one of the best beaches I went to. Just had a great day there. When we were having breakfast that morning, we saw the pier they were building right out of the window, and so it's kind of cool to see them building out that other side of Half Moon Key. And we tendered in, and man, just had a great day. Rented a clamshell, and if you're a beach person, we're beach people, Doug. We love the beach. That's really what we want to do. And that's a place that I want to go back to. It was awesome. Then we finished in Nassau, and we actually bought a day pass. I'd been there before. It used to be the British Colonial Hilton, And now I guess Hilton, through COVID, got rid of it, or now it's just the British Colonial, and we bought it through Resort Pass. And I think it was like $60 a person. Plus you got to buy your food and drinks, but it's just right there by the ship. And it's beautiful. They'd renovated it. It looked completely different. The pool area, the beach was beautiful, being a beach right there, kind of in the industrial area, close to the ships. Beautiful beach, great sand. And I highly recommend, if you just want a nice beach day and you don't want to have to taxi to Cable Beach or whatnot, the British Colonial was awesome. We had a really good day there.
So you wrap up with Nassau, you have a couple of sea days, and you're back in Texas. How was your debark?
It was great. We had to check bags and do the standard debark, just with having a family and someone. I can't carry. If I would have tried to carry, 4 suitcases off the ship and a stroller, we'd have been in trouble. But even with having a group in the standard debarkation. We had lunch we had breakfast in the dining room, and I think we were off the ship at 9:30, and it was really efficient, really easy. And they have the facial recognition scanners there in Galveston, as you probably know. And if you have a passport, I mean, you don't even they scan your face and you're out of there. It was super easy.
Do you have any tips to offer either first timers for Carnival Dream or traveling with little ones?
The one tip I can think of is I used to be a set dining time person because I like to have the same staff and same table every time. And I know I've heard some people say, oh, well, you have to do the standard set dining times, but we like any time because with kids, you can, depending on how they're doing, right, how they're feeling, you can go anytime from what it's like 5:30 to 9 or whatever it is. And we had the same table. We told the maitre d', and it was just like having a set dining time. When we walked in, it was the same table. It was the same servers. And I thought that was kind of the best of both worlds, Doug, and a good tip if you need that flexibility. I think the other tip, I don't know if this really has anything to do with kids, is just be kind to the staff. I saw some people that were not kind to the staff. And, the staffing levels on this ship, there was definitely a lack of staff on the ship. I remember when I first started cruising on the Triumph or Carnival Pride, you had to literally like turn away drink servers. They would ask you every like 2 minutes, do you need a drink? Right. It's like, no, I'm good. And I didn't see any drink servers anymore. You had to go to the bar to get your own drinks. And the lines were, I think the lobby bar one night, there was 2 servers for probably 10 to 15 people in line. So the service levels were definitely an issue on this ship. With that being said, though, these people were working so hard. I mean, that was a management or a staffing issue from a talent acquisition side or whatever it is. It wasn't an issue with the staff that were there. They were working so hard. So just be kind to the staff. They're great people. A lot of them are just trying to provide for their families back wherever they're from. And I just hate to see when people are ugly to the staff, because even when you had to wait a long time, they always had a smile on their face, and they were doing their best, and the service was excellent.
I forgot to ask you when we were talking about the sea days, how was the casino with the smoke situation in and around it?
Well, it wasn't very good to me on this one. Oh, you're talking about the smoke.
Or that too, yeah.
I did really good on the breeze, but on the Dream, with them cracking down on the people that would just congregate in there and chain smoke and, not even gamble, they're pretty strict on that now, as you know. So it was, I think because of that, there's just a lot less smoke, and the ventilation seemed good. It wasn't very smoky in the atrium or even behind there on deck 5. I thought that wasn't an issue. I think maybe there's just not a lot of people on this cruise that were smoking and gambling anymore. I think maybe a societal shift. So it's almost like, should you switch that deck 4 small casino and make that the smoking one? Because there's never anyone there when I went. It's just there's no excitement or energy in there. So maybe do you make that the smoking one and then make the bigger one non-smoking? I don't know. That's above my pay grade, but there certainly was just not as many people smoking in the casinos as you used to see. And I thought it handled itself very well. I wish it would have paid out a little bit more, but regardless, the staff, we had a great time when we went in there.
Going back to the main dining room, and you said you had anytime dining in there. Any meals really stick out to you?
The Emerald's select stuff, is that what it's called? On the menu. Of course, there's not an Emerald's. I think that Emerald's restaurant's just on XL class, if I remember. But the Emerald selections on the menu, they were all so good. I can't remember what they were exactly, but we loved all the Emerald selections. The lobster, I still think the lobster's good. I did have 2 or 3 of them, and they didn't charge me. Oh, nice. My servers don't get in trouble for that because they were awesome and the best. But I had 2 lobsters, and lobster was good. And I had like a portobello mushroom, stuffed mushroom. It was an entree that was awesome. And then the baked Alaska was money. I wish I could make that at home, man. I'd be about 100 pounds heavier, but the desserts were great. The food in the dining room was just, they really do a good job. I don't know, how do you cook for that many people? Yeah. Turn that much food around and still make it as high quality as it is. That amazes me, man. Yeah.
Looking back, what was the biggest highlight of this cruise for y'all?
2 things. The staff, the names I've already told you, the staff they were unbelievable, just great people. And I wrote Carnival, did a nice, it's cool because I did a review, and I won't say who, I don't want anyone in trouble, but one of the staff members that I'd connected with that's allowed to connect, because in their area, they're allowed to do this, sent me a message and said, hey, thanks for the great review. My supervisor brought it up, and that means a lot that when you're doing those reviews that the management's actually trickling that on down, because the staff on this ship, they were just incredible and really made Carnival proud and made you want to cruise Carnival again. And then Half Moon Cay, man, is just, shoot, I want to definitely try to do a cruise. I'm looking forward to if they ever have some more cruises on, I guess, the XL class when they start going in with that new pier, because Half Moon Cay is one of those places, Doug, that I would definitely pick a cruise. Not too often I'd tell you I'd pick a cruise for the itinerary, but I would for Half Moon Cay. It's absolutely stunning, the water. And I like that they haven't made it. I don't think, you might correct me here, but I hope they never put 9,000 water slides on there and make it too, I don't think they will. That's the whole deal with this new relaxation, whatever they're calling it is. I love that it's still kind of rustic and it feels Caribbean and the water's beautiful. And man, Half Moon Cay's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing place to check out. And even, sometimes just when I go there and just want to go for a little walk and it's not too scorching hot out, you can, walk down the whole part of that crescent part of the beach where no one goes, because everyone kind of stops like within the first 1,000 feet or 1,500 feet. But you can just keep walking as far as you want to go and then just walk right on back. It's so relaxing down there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think that everything I've seen with I heard you and Richard do a highlight on it, and it sounds like Carnival's really going to preserve that Caribbean feel and make it a place where you can kind of go to relax everything. I don't want to go and see 15 water slides and 12 swim up bars. It's what makes Half Moon Cay special is, like you said, just you can walk around, there's nature. It's just absolutely beautiful, and what a fun place to. Wish I lived in Florida, man, so I could hit more of those half moon itineraries.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in closing here, Casey, your final thoughts of Carnival Dream.
Great ship, great service. It's a great value. For what you pay and what you get, the value is. I don't know how the value could be beat. And we just had a great time, and it's a good ship. And I like how they do the 8-night itinerary on it. Used to in Galveston, they just had one that did a 4 and 5 night and then one that did the 7-night, and having that variety now. And then I think they just added a 4th Spirit class ship there that even gives you more variety. So this itinerary was outstanding, and I'd highly recommend the Carnival Dream if you want a good getaway.
All right. We've been talking with Casey about his 8-night cruise on Carnival Dream. Casey, thank you so much for stopping by and talking about your cruise, my friend.
Hey, Doug, I've enjoyed it. Thanks for what you do, man. And hopefully, if I didn't scare you off too much, I can come back on one day. I appreciate you.
Have a question or a comment for the show? Yeah! Send an email or voice memo to doug@cruiseradio.net.
A big question we get at Cruise Radio is, how do I know if I need trip insurance? Simple answer. If you're getting on a plane, taking a road trip, or getting on a cruise ship, you need to have travel insurance. Hey, it's Doug Parker from my friends at tripinsurance.com. Not only does tripinsurance.com protect your vacation investment, but it also gives you peace of mind in case anything were to go wrong on your trip. How do they do it? They offer 3 different types of trip insurance policies. Good, better, and best. One policy for every vacation budget. But it doesn't just stop there. They're up to 40% lower when you shop around on other comparison sites. Plus, tripinsurance.com offers 24-hour customer support before, during, and after your trip, online claims assistance, and travel alerts to let you know what's going on at your destination. But find out for yourself. Check out tripinsurance.com.
All right, Dougie, let's see what we got for you, buddy. Cruise Radio is produced at the tripinsurance.com studios in Jacksonville, Florida. Get cruise news, ship reviews, and money-saving tips every Thursday on Cruise Radio. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show. If you want to help spread the word, give Cruise Radio a 5-star review. Find Cruise Radio where you listen to your favorite podcast or online at cruiseradio.net. I'm your announcer,